Salve a tutti, sono Almarok e benvenuti in un nuovo video. Oggi siamo qui per fare un'intervista a Scorpios Androctonus, famoso per essere cantante, chitarrista, bassista e tastierista dei Crimson Moon. Prima di iniziare lo ringrazio della sua disponibilità per aver accettato di essere qui oggi. Vi lascio l'intervista e vi auguro buona visione. Nice to meet you, thank you for staying today.
Yes, hello.
Why you started to do music, why you started to do with metal music, talking about the beginning of your career.
I started music because I liked music. It's before I could remember. I just had a liking for music. Metal music, I grew up into. I had older brothers that listened to metal music, so I grew up into it before I was born. Things I grew up on would be things like everything from Rush to Iron Maiden to old Metallica, Motorhead, uh, AC/DC, Scorpions, things like that. I always like that stuff. I still like. That's the most type of music I listen to today from metal. Uh, it's at that early age, then you want to find something more extreme, I guess. So I was always looking for more extreme, getting into thrash metal in the early '80s, and eventually black metal. Nowadays, I kind of I don't listen to so much of that extreme stuff. I do, but not like I used to. And I enjoy different types of music more and more as I get older. Lately, I listen to a lot of country music. Back then, when I started Crimson, I was really into a lot of the underground death metal. That was like the prime times of stuff like Morbid Angel and Deicide. They were just like at the peak of their prime and starting to die out in the U.S. I don't know what had to do with it, but maybe it was the labels or the touring companies they're on, but it seemed like at that time where I was really into it, it was just starting to get a little bit bland. And then you started doing tape trading and discovering these demos, and then it was like, oh, this is a band from Norway that killed somebody. It was something interesting, but the music was actually really good. So that's where I got in. I think I got the first Wrath of the Tyrant demo from tape trading, and then the flyers and tape trading and sending out flyers. And that's where I just started. It was a wormhole. So you start discovering all this stuff. And that's pretty much where it started.
Now let's talk about the Crimson Moon album, the evolution of the sound of the band, album by album, the story about the Crimson Moon albums, and what about the idea to include vampiric thematics in Crimson Moon music?
I started Crimson Moon. I was not a legal adult when I started that band. So I was probably 16, 17 years old um, during the 94 demo. And the sound has just been part of it. It's just something, it's hard to explain. Maybe like when you have a dream or a vision, that is the, the soundscape of it. So it has to fit that. Even though I've worked with different musicians with the band, and I'm always very picky about that it has to fit that realm of what the vision is. It's really difficult to explain, but that's the best I can do. It has to do with death and everything beyond that. So I don't. It goes into a lot of things. If you look into it, a lot of it has to do with the Sumerian mythology. Earlier lyrics had to do with. I want to word it specifically and not. Well, they had to do with some ideologies, um, but it still comes back to the same thing. And it's really the vampiric ideology comes to. I'm a hunter, so I look at it that way still. Um, it's the predatory being upon civilization. So when you look at the apex predator, something like that. I got tired of going to the occult side and explaining it or talking about it. Actually, I don't like to talk about the occult side of the lyrics. It's There's too many people that follow certain doctrines or they think they know it all and nobody knows anything. So I prefer not to talk about that stuff. I have no problem commenting on it, but nah, that is where it is.
In your career, if you want to be remembered for an album you have done, which is and why?
I would be happy to remember by any of them, to be honest. It's not really a goal I have to. It used to be maybe, but I'd be. I think I've achieved that already. So like, I think I've made some music that will keep going for a while. There's no particular song or album that I would really have to find on that. It's I actually kind of find it interesting when someone tells me they like an album or a song that I didn't really care for or like or heard many people comment about. It's also kind of annoying because it's usually there's a reason I don't like those, but it really doesn't matter to me. I, if I'm dead, what does it matter?
Your music project and the Crimson Moon plans for 2025.
I have no plans for current situation right now, to be honest. I've gotten really tired of what goes on in the music scene, and this started probably since 2020 for the last 5 years when COVID started, and then all the shows started getting canceled. I mean, it had nothing to do with music, but everything got fucked up. But then I saw the music scene, not the music scene, but the industry, I should say, how they just, I mean, they had to survive. So they started charging more for shows, charging more to do work, making these ridiculous conditions, which, I mean, it's a whole combination of issues that started that. But since then, I've just watched shit go downhill within the I hate to even say underground music scene anymore because that started way before that actually, where just things went downhill. Nowadays, you have to worry about uh, did you offend somebody in your lyrics, and it's black metal. I've been doing this since the '90s, and now all of a sudden you have to be careful about offending people. I and you don't really care at this point, but at the same time, do you really is it worth it to do this and then have the retaliation of the radical left basically that will try to find who you are, where you work with the technology today and the internet and try to screw you over. It's I'm I'm not so worried about that. I just think it's fucking stupid. So it's like I think there's so much lost today that was it's not the same thing it was 20 years ago.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for today. Good luck for your project. Before I can say you bye, if you can say hi at my girlfriend Francesca, she's a Crimson Moon fan. I know Crimson Moon thanks to her.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.